Hello, it's good to be with you all today from the Abu Dhabi for this special interview from the Investor Forum at the FinTech Abu Dhabi Festival. My name is Chris Hughes and I am the Editor-in-Chief at the FinTech Abu Dhabi Festival and Unbound Innovations. I'm here today with our special guest, Yousif Al Mulla from the Emirates Angel Investors, an investors association that brings together the most prolific young investors in the UAE. Yousif, it's great to be with you and thank you for joining us at FinTech Abu Dhabi.
Thanks, Chris. It's great to be here too. I think it's, as an association, I think we have a great role to do, and we're happy to be here and happy to contribute to the FinTech Abu Dhabi, which is one of the most, I think it's one of the top events right now in the region.
We're trying our best to build it, but I know there's a lot of excitement about what Emirates Angels is doing. So we've only a short time together, so I want to get stuck into some questions because I know the audience are keen to find out about what's going on. So this is a global conference. People from all over the world are watching today, and hello and welcome from wherever you are in the world. Many of them are uninitiated in what the Emirates Angels do. I want to ask you, give us a snapshot of what Emirates Angels do. What kind of members do you have? What kind of activities are you involved with?
Okay, we actually started, let me tell you a little bit, a very quick background story about how we started the association. I think what happened last year, actually, I got a call from the Minister of Economy telling me that, you're one of, let's say, an angel investor already in the ecosystem. We'd love to have you, there's a big meeting happening, and for angel investors, Emirati, they're trying to create an association. So they invited me for the meeting. I went there, and I was very happy to be there at that meeting. And the reason is that I said, okay, finally, we got a group of young Emirati who represent one of, let's say, big family offices in UAE, and are kind of getting together finally to create a kind of an association which focuses on angel investment. So when the whole meeting happened, and then post the meetings a few months later, we all met together, we formed a board, and our key objective was, as an association, is to work with the ecosystem here, with the government, for us to kind of promote angel investments. There are a lot of small kind of angel investors already in the ecosystem. However, there isn't kind of an association where basically that clubs them all together and kind of work with them and with the government in order for us to kind of, let's say, support the government in different policies and different kind of regulation that supports angel investors. I think us as investors, we are one of the kind of key kind of, let's say, players in the ecosystem. And I always say that, a lot of governments all around the world, including here, they always focus on the startup. They don't know that we as investors are one of the key kind of ingredient in this ecosystem, So that's why I think the association's role is for us to kind of voice, our kind of, let's say needs and requirements to the government and also to the ecosystem, in order for them to kind of understand what was required from our side, in order for us to support in developing and enhancing further the ecosystem, or let's say startup ecosystem.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Angel investing is really all about the intervention and the support of founders and startups at the very genesis of their ideas, right at the beginning, when someone's had this light bulb moment, some shorter distance to some better place for some, and they want to create a business out of it. How do angel investors seek out the best investments? What is the strategy that angel investors use to assess them?
See, at angel round, usually, you basically are looking at the entrepreneur, okay, and then you look at an idea, okay, whether the idea kind of click. Usually a lot of angel investors are either experienced entrepreneurs, or like ex-corporate guys, or current corporate guys, or maybe some individual and family offices who think, okay, there is kind of, let's say, a technical need that we need, that our companies and the family offices requires, and let's go out there and see maybe there's a startup that kind of, let's say, bridge that gap. So I think in my view that's a lot of kind of mainly the key I would say objective of a lot of angel investors. For let's say kind of successful entrepreneurs who had great exits, a lot of them basically work on supporting the ecosystem. So it's basic in a way kind of giving back, to the ecosystem. And also from, let's say, from a corporate perspective, let's say chief executives and had their own kind of, let's say, industrial kind of experience in specific sector. And then I mean, it's a personal interest. They want to diverse a little bit, put money into kind of, different tech startups. So they would go toward, startups that kind of link to what they're experiencing. So the key thing here is, as an angel investor, it depends where do you fall, kind of, I would say, in the ecosystem. But it's mainly working with the entrepreneurs to see where what sort of gap they can basically kind of let's say overcome, or what sort of product they're bringing in the market that will basically enhance or add value to, let's say, specific sectors' customer experience, for example. Yeah. So the role of angel investors is very important from early days, and the reason they call them angels is because they're the ones who basically get the entrepreneurs, from, let's say, from an idea to basically, to the next level. And I think that's the most important phase for any idea, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs, there's a lot of ideas that comes out there, but it's key that angel investors' role is to see which idea is right and which idea is just kind of maybe sometimes it's not the right time for them to go out in the market. So it's important to work with the entrepreneur, make sure that they understand that kind of the challenges that. Because, like, for example, for me, every time when someone comes to with an idea to me, I always ask one question: have you done your market research? And to be honest, 80% of the time, the guy or the person with an idea haven't done their market research. Yeah. So once they go out there, they do their market research, they come back, they go, oh, damn, there's a lot.
It's not such a good idea anymore. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's where the angel investor's role kind of plays, in kind of enhancing, let's say, the ideation kind of stage of for an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Well, that would bring me to my next question. Is the perception out there is that angel investing is, deployment of capital and seeing where it goes. But many of the best angel investors, they're there at the founder's very first steps of strategic development. You're trying to create something with a startup that is actually quite unlikely to work. Many startups just don't get past a certain stage of development. And the best angel investors, yes, they'll put the capital in, but they'll also put an awful lot of knowledge into it as well. What's your view on that? The hands-on, the hands-off approach. The role, certainly in the first year of the founder's journey, the relationship that happens between the investor, the angel investor, and the startup and the founder.
I mean, yeah, I prefer more hands-on than because, as I said, at an early stage, an entrepreneur comes up with an idea, and the minute when they hit reality, they see that, okay, there's their idea, well, it sometimes doesn't work, or I need to tweak it, or so hands-on angel investors is very important. That's why you see a lot of entrepreneurs actually, when they go raise for like this early stage, they usually go to someone who's kind of experienced in the sector that they kind of trying to develop or work in. So and because there's a lot of, let's say, experience that's helps kind of refines the ideas, where the angel investor can bring in on the table. So that's I think at early stage, I think hands-on is more important. And I think it's key to, especially today. I mean, there's tons of startups out there today, and I mean all around the world, and a lot of them trying to solve kind of specific challenge, and some of them are trying to solve same challenge, that's out on the market for let's say a specific sector. So to have an angel investor who's more hands-on, I think it's more important in my view, because that's where I think even us as an association, this is one of our kind of key role right now. Through our members, we have our members consist of individuals from family offices, some expertise from specific sectors who joined us also as members or interested. Actually, as I said, like chief executives in a few companies who joined our association also. And our role is just, as I said, as an association, is also to not just first of all, we are a non-for-profit association, so we're there to support the ecosystem, support the entrepreneurs at early stage, give them advices and see, and especially like you in UAE market, and there are a lot of ideas, a lot of entrepreneurs that come from other regions and want to come to UAE or come to MENA region. So our role as an association here is to even support them on how to basically find their idea and how to make sure that whatever they're developing fits the market here. So that's the role of a more hands-on angel investment.
So one thing I've taken out of that is that knowledge that an investor may bring, particularly sectoral knowledge and so on, is often a good thing to match up with the founder, and that's kind of a part of the alchemy that might make the relationship work. All great companies are built through great teams, and obviously the investor network within the company is probably one of the most important parts of that team, particularly at the growth, the very early genesis stage of it all. So I'm going to move a little bit now away from entrepreneurs, and then I'm going to come back there. Specifically with investors, we're here today. It's the FinTech Abu Dhabi Investor Forum, and a lot of people are watching this, and many people, family offices or executives or entrepreneurs, will have ambitions or interest in becoming an angel investor. They're kind of thinking, where do you start? What's your advice, and again, what role does your organization play in advising people who are looking to take their first steps into this space?
So when we started the association, one of our key objectives is educating people on angel investment, and because we saw, as I just said, Chris, a lot of people want to get into it, but they're not sure how and what kind of the let's say. Kind of the best way to get into finding the right deal at early stage. So as an association, we made it as one of our core objectives is basically to support that, to support, let's say, the first timers of angel investors, whether from family offices or executives who wants to kind of invest in tech, and educate them on what is the, let's say, how to do angel investment. What are kind of required to be as an angel investor, and I think this is the main role and main objective of the association. And so far, what we've done today is that we've since we started, we officially launched in February this year, and so since then, what we've done is that we've organized a few seminars, a few webinars actually. And we've organized webinars and meetings with different angel investment associations or investors associations around the region or even globally, in order for us to kind of connect let's say the association with other similar kind of organizations around the world. And also during these sessions, we also invited individuals from either family or to come and listen and hear what kind of others have done already, what sort of kind of criteria you look into, when you invest as an angel. So we've done already similar kind of webinars that basically kind of educational webinars to support angel investors, and which is, as I said, I need to emphasize that our association, our main objective is to educate people to get more angel investors into our ecosystem, because I think it's very important for us to kind of help entrepreneurs with ideas at the early stage, for them at least to let's say stand on their feet in order for them to kind of develop their idea further.
Even on the investor end, it's an exciting and fulfilling journey to be involved with the growth of some young enterprise that's growing, and you can see the energy and you can see the excitement, and it's going places, and one day it's up, the next day it's down, but the trajectory's growing. It's a super fulfilling space to be in. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially if it's a sector that you're already experienced in.
Yeah.
You know, you've spent like, let's say 15 years kind of working in that specific sector. And then when you see like, you know, a startup who, you know, comes in with a solution that looks at the, you know, like what you've been doing for the last 15 years from a different perspective, you're like, oh, wow, you know, this is amazing. You know, let me put some money in here and support the entrepreneurs, you know, to develop this idea further. So I think that's where the excitement comes in. And I think for me specifically, I say fintech is my, you know, the sector that, you know, I get a lot excited about. Yeah. You know, so when I see, you know, tech startup that, you know, coming up with a solution where, you know, it's like, you know what, I can see it. I used to be chief strategy officer of one of like largest corporate government, let's say, owned companies. So I have that kind of, let's say, strategy mindset. So when I see a startup and I say, oh, you know, that, you know what, this is hitting a challenge or a gap in the ecosystem, and let me support them and put some money and support them, take them to the next level. You know, so that's the excitement that comes into place.
So Yousif, we're running out of time now with this interview, but I want to squeeze one last question, and if you don't mind.
Sure.
What is the biggest piece of advice that you would give to future entrepreneurs who are watching today, who are looking to do business, to grow initiatives and enterprises in this region? What advice would you give to those people watching today?
Chris, today here in UAE, specifically ADGM and Abu Dhabi, there's all the enablers that for any entrepreneur that has an idea to basically develop it further. And today, as our role as an the Emirati Angel Investors Association is not just in Abu Dhabi, but on a UAE and also on a higher level. We're here to support, and I think that ADGM has also the, you know, every kind of, let's say, rules and regulation to support, you know, early stage ideas to basically to flourish. And I'm personally working very closely with, you know, ADGM and Hub 71. And I can see the opportunity is big. And I think, and not just from funding perspective, but also from, you know, mentoring, also from coaching, and also getting whatever support that, you know, the entrepreneur needs in order for them to take their idea further to the next level. So and I think every entrepreneur that has an idea, you know, they could, you know, I actually urge them to look into the facilities that are available today at ADGM and Hub 71. And I actually personally saw a couple of startups who from another region, you know, who are interested to come to UAE. Then they listed, yeah, Yousif, it's too expensive for us to set up in UAE. I was like, guys, you know, you have Hub 71 today, you have ADGM, they have a special license for startups. It's very easy to set up, it doesn't cost you much, and the process is very fast. And I think, so my suggestion would be is that, you know, look at these incentives, look at these programs that's available, and us and as associations, we will support also from enhancing the ecosystem from an angel investor perspective.
Yeah, the right ecosystem. So I think that's the piece of advice. Be in the right ecosystem, and that ecosystem is definitely being developed here in Abu Dhabi, and we're all very proud to be a part of it. So that's time. I think we could have went on with this interview for another 15 or 20 minutes. It's fascinating. I know there's a lot of young entrepreneurs and nascent entrepreneurs watching today. Get involved, keep an eye on the Emirates Angels Association, and thank you, Yousif Al Mulla, for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Chris, and please watch the our Angel Association, because we'll be launching a platform soon to even make it much easier for the entrepreneurs to raise money through angel investors.
Well, they're going to love that idea. So that's us, and all the best, Yousif. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you. Thank you very much.